Hey guys, welcome to another video. As some of you know that last week was my first video of the fall, and of my 2022-2023 year of being a YouTuber. So now apparently guys I am not the only accessibility guy on here. There's someone else who just joined a few days ago. But I will always be the original accessibility guy, which is pretty cool. So as you can see that the title of this video is called iPhone 14, iPhone 14 Plus, iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max. So I will be talking all about Apple brand new lineup of iPhones. So let's turn our attention to talking about their new iPhone 14, and it has only been out for 13 days, so it's still just a brand newborn baby. Their slogan for it is big and bigger wonderful, and that's the slogan for their iPhone 14 Plus, which will be released tomorrow by Apple. They only released iPhone 14, the 14 Pro, and the Pro Max 13 days ago on September 23rd. Actually, I compared the two iPhone 13 against iPhone 14, and I don't know why Apple is promoting this. This is basically the same phone, just they changed the number, which is really stupid. I printed off both iPhone 13 and iPhone 14 from Google Images, and wow, I mean Apple, wow, oh my gosh, how could you get away with this? Basically literally the same phone, just Apple's motto, hey, we should just leave the phone the same as last year but raise the price by about $500 and change the number so people think that the 14 is better than the 13. But it is not now, mind you. Once you go up to the iPhone 14 Pro or Pro Max, then you are talking, but it costs more than two computers, I mean wow. Some people has been start complaining on Google News about the price. I mean in Gurnal not Apple, you can't buy a phone that will not be poop for no more than $1,000 these days. The iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Pro comes in 5 colors and they are blue, Midnight, Product Red, which I have got here, Starlight, which I really want to get the 3rd general iPhone SE for my collection. Not expensive at all. And it comes in purple, which I really love purple. It says that it's the 16th gens of iPhone, whatever that means, I don't really know. Okay, moving on. It can do 2G, 3G, 4G, LTE, and 5G and R, which means new radio. So it's essentially a higher range of 5G cell networks. I only have got the standard 5G on my Motorola phone. But anyhow, moving on, all of the places in the world have got iPhone 14 except Philippines. They will get their shipment of them October 14. It's related to the iPhone 14 and 14 Pro Max. The 14 is 5.7 inches tall, 2.8 inches width, and 0.31 inches depth. For the 14 Plus, 6.3 inches tall. Width is 3.07 inches and depth is 0.31 inches. The mass for 14 is 172 grams, and for the 14 Plus it's 203 grams, or 7.2 ounces. The system on chip for both of them is Apple A15. One of the differences is between the 13 and the 14 models is the 13 has got 4 gigabytes of RAM and the 14 got 6 gigabytes of RAM, but not worth the upgrade, save your money. Both of them have got 128, 256, and 512 gigabytes in them for storage sizes. Now there's a eSIM as well as a nano SIM that's new for Canada. Pretty cool. Now battery part, which I am really interested in. As you can see my point of view, my Motorola phone has got a 5000 mAh battery in it in both of the 14 and the 14 Plus sadly didn't meet my standing. Both of them have got a Li-ion battery in it. 14 has got a 3279 mAh battery capacity in it, which is bad in the 14 Plus has got a 4325 mAh battery in it. Both of them can do QI wireless charging up to 7.5 watts, fast charging up to 20 watts, and MagSafe wireless charging up to 15 watts. Nothing beats this 80-watt charger. The 14 has got a 6.1-inch display screen size Super Retina XDR OLED HDR 10625 nits and 1200 nits of brightness at its peak. The 14 Plus 6.7-inch display screen size Super Retina XDR OLED HDR 10 Dolby Atmos 800 nits and 1200 nits of brightness peak. Both of them have got stereo speakers, spatial audio, and with Dolby Atmos. Rear camera for both of them got a 12 megapixel with 4K at 24, 25, 30 and 60 frames per second. 2 megapixel wide angle with 4K at 24, 25, 30, 60 frames per second. Both of them can do Bluetooth 5.0. Both of them got a IP68 water and dust resistance. You can now do FaceTime over cell network. That's a new feature Apple added this year to their iPhones. Let's for fun compare these specs to last year's 13 and 13 mini, shall we? Last year's slogan was "Your New Superpower." Released on September 24th, which is a year earlier this year on the 23rd. Wow, holy wow, essentially the exact same phone, only thing is 2 GB more RAM, wow wow wow. This year it got rid of iPhone mini and replaced it with the Plus.
Yeah, but
I have looked at the unboxing on YouTube of the iPhone 14 and compared it to the unboxing of last year's model of iPhone 13, and wow, what a big marketing scam, like essentially the exact same phone for Mordo. It's really stupid. How can Apple get away with it? I mean, the same storage sizes, which are 128 GB, 256 GB, and 512 GB, and Apple charged $200 more for that model of iPhone. Last year for iPhone 13, which now costs $1,000, that's without tax. As for iPhone 14, it costs $1,200 without tax. For the 256 GB model last year costs $2,150, now it costs $1,150. For the 512 GB version last year it costed $2,600, now it costs $1,600. As for the new iPhone 14 for 128GB model, it costs $1,200. For the 256GB one, it costs $1,400, and for the 512GB model, it costs $1,800. I never want to ever buy one of these, but if I ever had to buy one, I would choose the 512GB model because I love storing lots of stuff on my phone. So thoughts why? The iPhone 14 Plus haven't come out until tomorrow, so therefore I can't watch the iPhone 14 Plus unboxing of it. Now thoughts out of the way, now we will move on to the most expensive iPhone models, which they are the iPhone 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max. So I got printouts of both of the new iPhone Pro models. Wow, and while money doesn't matter at Apple, holy bleep, wow, no wonder that some people have been complaining about Apple's son of a gun. But at least the Pro and the Pro Max has got some really cool features than the regular versions of the iPhone, such as the all-new dynamic island at the top of the phone, which is super cool and awesome, and the Pro cameras are better than last year iPhone 13 models. So let's give you the prices, or I will only give you the prices of this year's model because there are some more changes and features. I only tell you what the prices are last year iPhone 13 just to compare them. So let's get started. So Apple has got 4 storage sizes, on the other iPhones only 3. For the 128GB iPhone 14 Pro, it costs $1,500. For the 256GB iPhone 14 Pro model will cost $1,800. For the 512GB option, it will cost $2,050, and for the 1TB option, it will cost $2,400. And now on to the iPhone 14 Pro Max prices. For the 128GB, it will cost $1,700. For the 256GB model, it will cost $1,900. For the 512GB model, costs $2,300. And for the whopping 1TB iPhone 14 Pro Max, it will cost $2,700. All of these prices are without tax. So basically with tax, the highest end iPhone will cost you about $3,000, which is crazy and ancient. So the iPhone 13 and Pro Max are both the 16th gens of iPhone 14. They should be called the 19th and 20th general for some reason, not the 15 gens. Their slogan is Pro and Beyond. They both came out on September 23rd, as well as the iPhone 14. For some reason, the 14 Plus is expected to come out tomorrow for whatever reason. They are the processor of the iPhone 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max, and will be the successor of the iPhone 15 and 15 Pro Max. That will come out fall of 2023, which is next year. There's nothing about the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max until at least February in the new year. The height of the iPhone 14 Pro is 5.81 inches. The width is 2.81, and the depth is 0.30, which is 0.01 of an inch than the other iPhone 14 and 14 Plus. The height of the iPhone 14 Pro Max is 6.33 inches, and the width is 3.17 inches, and the depth of it is 0.30 inches. They are both came out with iOS 16 operating system in it, and current is iOS 16.0.2, but I am still on iOS 15 updates because it will be too confusing if I switch over. So thoughts, why? But I will in about 1 month when iOS 15 final update is released. Anyways, both of the iPhones have got Apple's all newest 16 bionic chip in it, which makes no sense because the other iPhone 14 has got last year's chip in it. Anyways, moving on, both of them have got 6 gigabytes of RAM. Both of them has got 128, 256, 512 gigabytes and a terabyte. Both have got eSIM and nano SIM. So the iPhone 13 and Pro Max are both the 16th gens of iPhone 14. They should be called the 19th and 20th general for some reason, not the 15 gens. Their slogan is Pro and Beyond. They both came out on September 23rd as well as the iPhone 14.
Wow.
For some reason the 14 Plus is expected to come out tomorrow for whatever reason. They are the processor of the iPhone 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max and will be the successor of the iPhone 15 and 15 Pro Max that will come out fall of 2023, which is next year. There's nothing about the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max until at least February in the new year. The height of the iPhone 14 Pro is 5.81 inches. The width, both of the phones have got both wireless and lightning connector charging. Both of them has got a rechargeable lithium-ion battery, MagSafe wireless charging up to 15 watts, QI wireless charging up to 7.5 watts via USB to computer system or power adapter. Fast charge capable. Up to 50% charge in around 30 minutes with 20 watts adapter or higher, which are available separately. Thoughts Apple for you? Nothing cheap, and Apple for 3 years in a row never comes with the charging block, only the charging cable, and for some reason still USB and not USB-C, but for iPad Pro they give you USB-C so I can charge my Motorola phone with my iPad Pro charger and charging block, which is pretty cool. The display for the iPhone 14 Pro has got a 6.1-inch screen size. It has got a Super Retina XDR OLED HDR10 1000 nits of brightness for typical and up to 2000 nits of brightness at its peak, which is the same brightness as the new Apple Watch Ultra, which I am thinking about getting, but thoughts my video next week talking all about the 3 new models of Apple Watch. The iPhone 14 Pro Max has everything THE same, but got a 6.7-inch display screen size. All 4 of these iPhone 14 has got finally always on display, finally, thanks Apple. They already have it on the Apple Watch for 3 years, and Android already have it ever since Android 7, which is 6 years ago. The sound of both the Pro and the 14 Pro Max has got an 32-bit 384 kHz audio active noise cancellation with dedicated mic. The rear camera has got a 48 megapixel, which is an improvement from the 14 and the 14 Plus. f178. 24 millimeters main. 1.28 inches, 1.4 dual pixel voice. 12 megapixel f2.877 millimeters telephoto. 3.4 inches, 1.0 voice 3 times optical zoom. 12 megapixel f2.4, 13 millimeters ultra-wide 1, 3.6 inches Tor third lidar scanner depth. Dual LED True Tone Flash HDR photo panorama 4K at 24, 30, 60 frames per second. 1080p at 30, 60, 120, 240 frames per second. 10-bit HDR Dolby Vision HDR up to 60 frames per second. Stereo sound rec. Both of the phones with the front camera have got 12 megapixel f1.9 aperture autofocus with focus. Pixel 6 element lens SL3D. Depth biometric sensor. 4K at 24, 30, 60 frames per second. 1980p at 30, 60 and 120 frames per second. Gyro eyes. I explained the specs of the camera, and not on the other phones because Apple made some changes with the camera, so that's why I told you. While both of them has got Bluetooth 5.3, which is the highest Bluetooth there is now. Both of the phones have got 10 data inputs. You can read about them online. Both of the phones' hearing aid company of M3 and T4. All iPhone 14 users had to update to iOS 16.0.1 on the day of launch. Wow, crazy. I watched the unboxing of the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max unboxing, and my thoughts to you guys are that the camera lens are definitely a little bit bigger than last year's model. I would like to go to Apple Store someday, maybe in December, if I decide on getting the brand new Apple Watch Ultra, and look at the demos at the front of the store of the new iPhone and play around with them a bit. I really like about Apple that you can demo the phones before you can choose whether or not to buy it. In the box you will get the Golden Nugget, which is the iPhone itself. Out of the 4 colors, I personally go with the all new deep purple one because one of my favorite colors is purple. I bought the new iPad Air in purple earlier this year, that just came out, but I didn't like it, therefore I got the iPad Pro 11-inch model from 2021. The 2022 models, for the first time ever, it will be delayed until February 2023, so that leads me to this question: we will have 2 brand new iPads coming next year, the 2022 and the 2023 models, but there is an Apple event coming up on October 22nd about them. So let's see what's in the box. As you know, the phone, your USB Lightning charging cable. I still don't know why Apple gone to USB-C yet. Maybe hopefully next year in 2023 or 2024. You get some Apple stickers, the tiny Apple book. Unboxing are really fun for me to watch someone else unbox them. So on the phone, the camera lens are a little bit bigger than last year. Both of the phones' hearing aid company of M3 and T4. All iPhone 14 users had to update to iOS 16.0.1 on the day of launch. Wow, crazy. I watched the unboxing of the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max unboxing, and my thoughts to you guys are that the camera lens, so the setup is pretty much the same by the video that I watched on it. Always on display lets you customize your iPhone as well as your lock screen to the way you like it. Pretty cool, but guess what? Android already have this feature for 4 years. But Apple is catching up one day. Apple with get there. Look online on Google at the camera specs and see how good is the all-new ProRes is. All models of iPhone 14, and generally speaking, comes with 50% charge. You can charge the bad boy up if you want, or some other people use it until under 10% charge on it. And just want to tell you that the battery percentage is finally back, and it's inside the battery icon at the top. And you can set up dark mode all the time, or have dark mode like the way I have it, only at night. My time zone is it gets dark at 7, the sunset is that time, and at 7 in the morning my device switches to light off. By the way, the dynamic island at the top of the phone is pretty cool by Apple. My overall thoughts on the iPhone 14 models. It's a really nice phone, but except for the new dynamic island, which looks really cool, it's pretty much the same as the iPhone 13 lineup of phones. I am pretty disappointed in Apple this year. Guys, if you are thinking of buying a new iPhone this year, buy the iPhone 13 models of iPhones. To tell you the truth, I recommend for you guys to buy the iPhone 11 Pro. Thoughts the best iPhone Apple has made to date. But leave your comments down there and let me know what you think about the all-new iPhone 14. And yes, I will watch the unboxing of the new iPhone 14 Plus tomorrow and tell you what you guys think of it next week. So if you enjoyed this video, as always, make sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all in my next video. Peace, and enjoy the crappy new iPhone. See you.